I do believe we are live. Hello, everyone. Welcome to, I think it's our third members only live Q&A. I think this has been a really awesome experience so far. Let me go back and check real quick and see how many members we're up to here. I know it's over 600. 639 to be precise. Pretty cool. And okay, so reminder for your questions and your comments, if you expect me to bring them up on the screen, do all caps question or all caps comment before your thing. And I'm not going to have anyone, well, there's no one back here right now helping me star things. So I'm going to assume that we have a few enough people in here that I'll be able to navigate the live chat on my own. Well, let me see. We actually have, oh no, did I actually forget to put it on members only? Hold on, guys. Oh my God. I might have forgotten to put it on members only. I have to go adjust the settings right now. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. Hold on. It's public. All right, we're switching to members only right now. If you want to become a member, the link to become a member is in the description down below. Sorry, guys. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Switching. Okay. That is incredibly embarrassing. Okay. We're now members only. And it doesn't actually tell me how many people are watching. I was like, there's no way half of all members are on this live chat right now. That is statistically highly unlikely. Wow. That is very funny. Just since I scheduled this live stream, we have a number of new members here. So Erica M, welcome. Will's Pickle Jar Scar, welcome. Kitty 1838, welcome. Samantha Kermode, welcome. Grandma Life is Grand, welcome. Mastiff Mom Missy, welcome. Mazik, welcome. And Art Lover, welcome. All right, let me unstar all of those. And I am going to scroll. See, look. Celeste Commodore. Am I a member? Maybe just being able to post before it's live. Yeah, Celeste Commode was not a member. If you guys remember when we did the first live stream, I said I could not figure out how to initiate a members only live stream from StreamYard. And that's because StreamYard itself doesn't actually ask you to adjust the settings of whether something is public, unlisted, private, or members only. You actually have to create the event. Then you have to jump over to YouTube and make it members only. And I just simply forgot. Yeah, Sparkling Dragon was saying, I'm a subscriber, but unfortunately not a member. Guessing he hasn't changed the settings yet. So I'll say hi while I still can. Now, there is a YouTube viewer who understands how things work. No confusion there. That's awesome. Abigail says, awesome. I'm staying for this one. Aaron, did you get my email about Grant Cardone? I don't specifically remember seeing an email from you today about Grant Cardone, but I did do a Grant Cardone video. Maybe that's maybe you emailed me after that, but I'll check, Abigail. Don't worry. I'll see it. You know, I was cooking up a big fat Costco steak in advance of this video, and I somehow convinced myself I was going to be able to finish cooking it in time, and I didn't. So I've got it sitting right over here. And I'll tell you what, just so I can have a few bites of this real quick, how about I stuff my mouth with this while I bring you these brief messages from SPTV's #1 sponsor. Here we go, guys. Guys, I remember how excited I was when Ridge first decided to sponsor SPTV. It's been almost 2 years now. Ridge is still the #1 sponsor of SPTV. Do you remember when I first started doing the Ridge advertisements? I'd said, You got to be crazier than old man L. Ron Hubbard to still have one of these big fat wallets in your pocket. But you know what's interesting? When I first started using Ridge wallets, I was no longer using one of these big fat wallets. I was using, I love these things. I had them forever. They were little magnets. They were magnets inside a little leather clip. It did absolutely everything I needed it to do. Hold my cards, hold my cash, slim. I don't carry a lot of stuff in my pockets. It did everything I needed except not explode when I would accidentally drop it on the floor in the checkout line at the grocery store, and my cards and my cash would go everywhere. Little did I know there was a better alternative. There was Ridge wallets. My friends at Ridge are now celebrating their 11-year anniversary. And now through April 1st, you can get up to 30% off everything site-wide using my custom link, ridge.com/AARun. And Ridge product is not just for men. Check this out. They got all sorts of new styles. I showed these to my girls. I said, girls, there's no reason to fight over them. There's plenty where this came from. And thanks to Ridge, there's plenty for all of their friends as well. And no surprise, my personal favorite is Ridge's black leather. This is my daily carry. Very easy to pop your cards in and out. Keeps your cash secure. They've got new leather options out just recently. Got this light colored leather, blue colored leather. Got a forged carbon option, even wood. Guys, check out the whole website. Like I said, during this promotion, everything on the website up to 30% off using my link, ridge.com/AARun. Uh-oh. Oh, my goodness. Oh, could you hear me that whole time? No. No. Oh my God. I was getting, normally I share videos in a different way where my microphone is turned off. Oh my God. Ridge is not going to be very happy with that. I was chewing and clinking. You guys better buy some Ridge product and make them happy with me. Oh my God. That is absolutely amazing. And incredibly embarrassing. All right. Oh my God. Oh my God, you guys. I might be in a little bit of trouble for that. I'm not going to lie. All right. All right. As the thing was playing, I was looking at Dylan's comment and I was like, what he said, like, let's take bets on whether Aaron's going to come back with a mouthful of steak. And I was like, maybe I will, just because it's kind of funny. And it didn't occur to me it's because you guys could hear me chomping away like a goddamn animal. Oh my God. All right. Well, let's see. I'm going through. Thank you. At least someone didn't hear me eating. Thank you. Crunch, crunch, crunch. A commercial. We paid for this. I know. But I'm going to make the replay of this thing open to everyone afterwards. Oh, Reese would be so proud. Yes, Reese is the founder of Eating Into Your Microphone on SPTV. Oh my goodness. I should have been paying closer attention. Sarah says, I can hear your silverware clinking and you chewing. And guys, because I thought I was muted, I wasn't even trying to chew politely. I was chomping on that sumbitch. So that's why I'm actually like, oh my God, Ridge is going to be a little upset with me. But all right, we'll see. Kitty 1838, Aaron, love your content and much love. Thank you very much. We can hear the clinking and the chewing. We can hear the cutlery. And yeah, it is good steak though. Uh-oh, Blake Reed says, Aaron, I love you, but I'm a little tipsy. Thanks for posting for us members. I'll watch it again on the replay crew. Good to see you, Blake. Thanks for joining. Jennifer Elliott says, hello from Australia. Check out the org in Melbourne. Looks like the building is falling down. Looks abandoned. You know, if it actually looks that bad, it's probably a building they purchased and haven't renovated yet. And the actual building that they're occupying might be a totally different building. It depends. Yeah. Trisha Briggs says, don't stuff too fast. We don't need choking, Aaron. Man, I'm still embarrassed. Jen Sissick, just because. Been a subscriber for years. Love these Q&As. Thanks. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate it. Man, that was like a 2-minute integration as well. That's just like 2 minutes of like, how much of this steak can I get through before the microphone comes back on is exactly what was going through my mind. I was like, get after it. You got to, the faster you eat this, the more food you will have consumed before the microphone comes back on. Gosh darn it. Oh, well, it'll be okay, you guys. All right. I've starred some. I'm going through looking for some more to star. Edit and post. I can't. Oh, no. See, in YouTube, you can cut things out in post, but you can't put things back unless I download. Guys, I could download this entire live stream, edit it, put the ad without me chomping, and then upload it. And that might be a really good idea. I actually feel much better thinking about that possibility. Wow. Although, if I edit it, then none of this commentary will make any sense. I'm just going to go for it, you guys. What's the worst that can happen? Audrey in Paris. Hi, AA Run. Cheers from Paris, France. Did you get my email about me eventually streaming from the Paris org? Audrey, it doesn't ring a bell, but I'm not going to lie. I've not been very great at reading all my emails recently. I just, so go ahead and email me again. Eventually, I will see it. But yeah, I bet the folks at Ridge have never, ever checked one of their sponsored channels integrations and just heard the streamer just like chomping into steak the entire time. They might get a kick out of it, or they might very much not get a kick out of it. I guess we are going to see. Oh, the chewing wasn't even that loud. Okay, good. Country Girl says, I was worried there was no one there to do the choking maneuver on you. And Creekside Casual says, that's one heck of a bowl, Aaron. Yes, I tend to eat my food in large bowls. This is actually a small one. I remember when I was still working in like an office environment, I would make salads. I would make like an entire Costco bag of salad and put it in one giant bowl that was very obviously meant for like a family of 6. And people would come into my office while I was eating and just be like, just think I was like pranking them or something. Like, what in the hell is going on here? Like, just a little side salad for lunch, you know? Okay, let's see. You were clanking your Mr. Ridge wallets. That's right. That's exactly what it is. Eat more pizza, says Aaron learned a valuable lesson. Luna 35, if only Costco was a sponsor. Boy, that would be a big get. Man, I'm trying to think. I've never seen anyone on YouTube with Costco as a sponsor. Costco doesn't know what they're missing. They need to get into the YouTube game. Art Lover. Aaron, time for a blooper reel. Yes. Okay, I've started a bunch, so let me just start from there. Let's see. Irrelevant Panda. Question. I'm about 1.5 hours from Washington, D.C. Are there Sea Org members in D.C.? Is there birthing? Is there anyone in the SPTV universe that was a member and is familiar with the D.C. orgs? Well, I know Ian Rafalco was from the Washington, D.C. org. So that's the only one that comes to mind immediately. So there's not a Sea Org base in Washington, D.C. However, there are Sea Org members in Washington, D.C. The Office of Special Affairs opened up what they call its, I think, the National Affairs Office in D.C. and Sea Org members from the Office of Special Affairs staff that office. And also in most every Class 5 organization, which just means your regular Scientology organization that's staffed by non-Sea Org members. Almost every Class 5 org these days has 2 or 3 Sea Org members in it at least, holding certain positions. They call them the network positions. So yeah, as far as where those Sea Org members live, I actually don't know where they live in Washington, D.C. But yeah, there you go. Thank you for the question, Irrelevant Panda. Xenu Golf Club says, comment, greetings from Ilkley. Is that I think that's capital I, lowercase l. Greetings from Ilkley, UK. You do a great job with navigating YouTube, considering you've just started memberships. If you make the odd mistake, it's all good. Thank you, Xenu Golf Club. I appreciate that. And Queen Phaeton says, if you can't eat steak with friends, then what the hell? Exactly. Exactly. NatCat180 says, hi, AA Ron. How will the new foundation help those who are just leaving Scientology versus those who have left a long time ago? Can we know what the application process will be like? It'll be the same as the application process for the Aftermath Foundation. People newly leaving Scientology, and remember, most people leaving Scientology don't need help leaving Scientology. Oftentimes, a lot of people need is just someone to talk to, which is a service that is easily provided. When someone is leaving Scientology, the question isn't also only if they need help, it's if they're wanting to stay in connection with their family or not, right? Because when some people talk about leaving Scientology, like with my story, I'll talk about like mentally, I started leaving Scientology in 2009, but I wasn't officially declared until 2014. And when I was declared, like in my particular situation, I wasn't in someone who was in a position where I needed help finding employment, or I needed help with transportation, or getting to where I needed to be, or housing, or anything like that. So circumstances vary greatly when we talk about someone leaving Scientology, especially because you talk about the experience of leaving Scientology if you're already a public Scientologist, or leaving Scientology if you're a Class 5 staff member, or if you're a Sea Org member. And then are you leaving, or are you like escaping leaving? And there's just a lot of different circumstances. So someone who's just leaving Scientology and is just a public, meaning they already basically live an existence in the real world and they kind of pay to do Scientology, that person is most likely just going to need someone to talk to. Of course, there's exceptions to every rule, but I'm just giving you a little bit of specific answers to different circumstances. Someone who's leaving staff could be in a situation where they're renting a room in a house from a Scientologist or a public Scientologist or another staff member. They could be in a situation where they work on staff either days or nights and weekends, and their moonlight job, or their WOG job, as they would call it, is for a Scientologist. And so this could be someone who, even though they're not a Sea Org member, leaving Scientology for them does require them to find somewhere else to live and find somewhere else to work. So that's and if they don't have a lot of work history working for a non-Scientologist, they might need help with their resume. They might need help with interviewing skills, interviewing tips, some guidance on that. That would be an example. Someone who's leaving the Sea Org, or in this case, probably if someone's looking for help from one of the foundations, they'd probably be blowing the Sea Org. So actually escaping. That's the kind of scenario where we arrange to literally pick the person up from wherever they want to be picked up, take them to wherever they want to be taken to, and provided an awful lot of assistance. Are they trying to get to family? Are they trying to get to friends? Are they trying to get to just the place they've always wanted to live? Do they need help? Well, they would absolutely need help getting a place to live, secured on a long-term lease, getting transportation, getting employment, the whole resume thing, and everything. So those are various scenarios of someone presently leaving. Someone who's been out for a long time. Well, a long time. Let's just say if someone's been out for a few years, what kind of help could they need? There's a bunch of different examples, but I think, as you can imagine, a lot of people who are born and raised in Scientology and have been out of Scientology for a long time still struggle with certain mental health things. And mental health is expensive. If you don't have insurance, or depending on the circumstances, it can be very expensive. So the easiest answer that I could give is providing funding for mental health treatment for people who've been out for a while and have not been able to get it and want it. That's a good example. There are also examples I can think of where someone's been out for a while and has just been struggling for a long time, and their struggle in general is pretty clearly tied to their lack of proper upbringing or education or socialization or whatever. And I can think of examples where someone who's been out for years might still be in need of some of the kind of assistance that I already made mention of for people who are freshly leaving Scientology. And the application process is simply, I mean, there's an application that's just kind of questions that's just designed to elicit information about what the person's story and history and circumstances are, just to understand the person themselves. Just a combination of answering the questions and phone calls and follow-ups, and just getting a feel that, first of all, you got to make sure the person is legit. Like, you got to make sure it's not just someone being sent in by Scientology to, milk the foundation for dollars, or to create trouble or something like that. And yeah, so I think I answered the question. I appreciate that, NatCat180. Thank you very, very much. Okay, Trisha Briggs says, comment, I'm with Balake. Oh, I'm with Blake. I'm with Blake, a little tipsy. Been watching you since almost day one. Your advocacy is invaluable. Little Davy is hurting, dog. Thank you, Trish Briggs. That's very nice. I really appreciate it. Okay, I am going back to the live chat. I really wish I could tell how many people were watching. There's got to be a way. It just doesn't make any sense. Can you guys see? Can you guys tell how many of the members are in here? There's just a few things that I can check to see if it will tell me. And that can't be right. We couldn't. I mean, it is possible that we only have 37 people in here right now. Yeah, I have no idea if that's true or not. But anyway, doesn't matter. It's kind of, I mean, the fewer people we have in here, kind of the cooler it is, to be honest. Let's see. Going back to the live chat, looking for the questions and the comments. Oh, Sarah S. question. Whatever became of your top secret person on the inside of Scientology with the double blind email setup? I hope they didn't get thrown in a hole somewhere. Oh, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the guy who was known as the Insider. Oh, I'm still in touch with the Insider. He's done an excellent job of maintaining security on his identity and other people's identities. And I'm actually in touch with more than one persons like that. So yeah, that person has been extremely, extremely helpful. Big Z says, you ate an entire key lime pie during a live chat once. This was no biggie. Yes, and it was a Costco key lime pie, and it was glorious. Was it a Costco one? Yes, it was a Costco one. Very rarely will I ever eat a key lime pie that's not a Costco one. Costco has the best key lime pies. And every time I go there, I look for them. And every time they don't have them, I leave the store thanking Xenu that they did not have them, because I would have bought it and I would have gotten home and I would have eaten the entire thing and I would have regretted it, just from a caloric standpoint. So yes, that's right. How many people were here for the key lime pie incident? I remember that wasn't even a solo video. I was doing that with Reese, Was it just Reese or was it Reese and Sterling? I think it might have been just Reese. It's me, Jane says, I was watching the ad. I want a wallet now, not just for men. It's funny, like the styles of the Ridge wallet, a lot of them, I guess you could describe as masculine styles, but my girls love those wallets. Like, yes, when I showed them the flower wallets, they were excited as well, but they love the other wallets too. They're always asking me for wallets for their friends. I imagine it might make them somewhat popular at school to be giving away Ridge wallets in school. I got all my girls little Ridge hats too, so they could wear those. Anna says, any comments on the sign being removed in LA? I mean, not really. Sign went up, sign came down. I mean, not a huge shocker. I am curious about how Scientology was really able to apply that pressure. It is confusing to me that corporations these days can still be tricked into thinking that Scientology actually has weight to throw around. I mean, there's like 20 to 25,000 Scientologists on planet Earth. In the entire Galactic Federation, there's like 20,000 Scientologists, 30,000 if you're being unbelievably generous. I mean, in the United States, there's like less than 10 to 15,000 Scientologists. I mean, in Los Angeles, there's probably less than 5. And that's all of greater LA County, including all the outlying areas. Like, where is, it must be threat of litigation maybe. But then these companies don't understand Scientology hasn't sued anybody in like 25 years. And it's pretty crazy. Yeah. All right, let's see. How do I hide that one? There we go. Let's find another one. This gives me anxiety, Erica M, just thinking about this. At least you didn't say embarrassing shit to yourself like I definitely would have and have in a hot mic situation. Yes, thank God, considering I was 100% confident that the mic was auto-muted during that entire thing. Let's see. Eat More Pizzas reminding everyone, please use question when you have a question. All right, scrolling down. Luna's mom 24. Question, do you feel silly for not activating memberships long ago? No, not really. Not really. I mean, I wasn't going to activate them until I truly understood what positive purpose they would serve. And just generating a little bit of extra revenue wouldn't be a good enough reason to turn them on. And the truth is, there's a possibility that turning on memberships is actually revenue neutral or even slightly net negative revenue. But once I actually understood that it would provide a benefit to the viewership that the viewership would appreciate, it just made sense to me. So I don't regret not doing it sooner. I guess I don't tend to, I don't tend to focus on things and regret them, but I know it's not, I know you're not asking like a super deep question, but I'm just saying. Okay, let's see. Oh, hell no. Says, guess I will have to buy Hubs a Ridge wallet. And in the comment section, say that I bought it because I loved the sound of AA Run eating in the background. Yes, we'll just go to ridge.com/AA Run. Let's see. What happens if I go to ridge.com/AA Run? What comes up? Yeah, I think the website just looks exactly like the normal website. I think they just have a way of tracking whether the people who purchase things on the website got to the website using that custom link. Yeah, no, I think it'll be okay. I think it will be totally fine. All right, let's see. Oh, Ramon's girl says, we need a t-shirt that says, I'm a proud never in SP. And maybe on the back, it can say, ask me about it. Okay, well, I'll tell you what. Let me send a text. Merch idea. I'm a proud never in SP on the front and ask me about it. Oops. On the back. We can discuss. Bada bang. See, I got to do it now because you guys know I'm a pathological procrastinator. If it doesn't get done now, it will not get done. So thank you for the recommendation. Luna's mom 24. What do you think about ClearChannel bowing to Scientology? Should we contact them? I mean, it's hard to say could, should. Like, I don't think it's necessary to contact them, but I'm not like telling people. I wouldn't like tell people, oh no, don't. Like, I mean, is it going to change anything? I don't know. Do you want to? If you want to, just do it. I'm not going to initiate some campaign of, oh, contact ClearChannel. ClearChannel, they're doing whatever they think is in their best interest. So I guess what I would say is probably, and this could be a productive thing to do. If you do contact ClearChannel, instead of just like crapping on them for caving to pressure, because all companies will cave to pressure if they think it's in their best financial interest to do so. Maybe just educate them on how truly small Scientology is and that they haven't actually sued anyone in like 25 years and that they still have sort of been able to capitalize on this litigious reputation they earned back in the 70s, 80s, early 90s. But that really they're just a paper tiger these days, and ClearChannel just kind of made themselves look foolish for not understanding that, as do other corporations. But that might be a productive thing to do, to contact ClearChannel about. Not a bad idea. Let me see. Elaine K. Question: if you feel like you care to say, will you be working with Luis Garcia on the new foundation? Luis Garcia is not on the board of the new foundation. Luis and I are very close and dear friends, by the way. On the Aftermath Foundation, Luis was the leader. Luis was the boss. He was the president. I was the vice president. I never did anything without coordinating and getting approval from him. And I would never have ever tried to do anything or push through anything that he didn't want me to try to do or push through. That is one of the things that changed on the Aftermath Foundation when Claire realized she didn't actually have to do anything Luis wanted. Her friends would vote for anything that she wanted to do anyway. So the spirit of cooperation deteriorated over the last, I would say, 18 months at the Aftermath Foundation, because before that, Luis and I just took care of everything. And my point here is this. Going into this next chapter, it didn't make sense for me to start something new and also have Luis be the boss. And he and I discussed this. And he, like this next chapter, I mean, I'm going to be the president of the foundation. I am the president of the foundation. So, and Luis is a very strong guy, strong personality, strong will. And I would never want Luis to come on and be somehow subordinate to me on the board. The Aftermath Foundation was his baby. It was his idea. He's the one that, it was literally his idea. He's the one that filed all of the initial paperwork. And it just makes sense for this to be the next natural evolution. And honestly, Luis is very happy just kind of moving on and getting on to the next chapter of his life as well. And that's why he even asked me, there was a time when all the brouhaha was going on that I said, Luis, can I please make public the email that you sent to the board members when you resigned? And he's like, I'd really rather you didn't. I'd really rather just put it behind me and move on and not, give people something to get all worked up about. So Luis and I are the dearest of friends. I love the guy to death. And him not being associated with the board is no reflection of anything. Thank you for the question. I really appreciate that. Okay, Country Girl. Will you try a billboard in Los Angeles or Clearwater? Not in a million fucking years would I spend that much money to put a billboard up anywhere. So no. Okay, let me see. I'm looking for things. Okay. The not so graceful swan. I heard in another stream's chat that you have said the name of the new foundation. Is that true? I haven't said it, but it's called the SPTV Foundation. And that is a reflection of who it is that actually supports the foundation. And that is the viewers of SPTV. And that's why most of the board members, if not all, I got to double check, are SPTV creators, because that is how people are going to find out about the foundation. That's how people found out about the Aftermath Foundation. It's how the majority of the money from the Aftermath Foundation was raised. I mean, other than Claire's boss. Claire works as an executive assistant for a very high net worth individual. That individual has probably donated more money to the foundation than any other single source. No, I disagree. I think YouTube, donations made through YouTube are very close to whatever Claire's boss would have personally donated. But so other than a single extremely wealthy individual, the vast majority of the money raised by the Aftermath Foundation was raised by you guys, the people who watch was donated by you guys, the people who watch SPTV. And so I thought it was just a perfect name for a foundation. You might call it synergy, brand synergy. That made an awful lot of sense. And it's also like, there's an interesting conversation to be had about what it means to contact the foundation. You guys have heard me say in the past that, like, when I was speaking of the Aftermath Foundation, I said, as board members, we are the Aftermath Foundation. And so I want to talk about what that means to me when I say it, because that's still the statement holds true for the SPTV Foundation. The board members are the SPTV Foundation. So if someone's leaving Scientology, and they contact Serge Delmar because they know Serge and they've seen his videos, and Serge gets an email. So is that someone reaching out to the SPTV Foundation, or does it get negated because they just reached out to Serge directly and maybe they hadn't yet heard of the foundation? The way I always thought about things at the Aftermath Foundation is that, well, the Aftermath Foundation sort of represented kind of a promise or a hope of the community of former Scientologists, that people who need financial help finally have a way to get it without having to beg for it. And so if someone reached out to me or Luis for help, we would consider it was the Aftermath Foundation that was helping that person, not, oh no, it was me or it was Luis. It was like, we are the foundation. It's not about taking credit. It's about the community having reach by virtue of the reach of all the members of the community, not just the board members, but the community of former Scientologists. That all former Scientologists know each other, are separated by 1 degree of separation. And that anyone in the community who hears that anyone is leaving Scientology or staff or the Sea Org and wants help, it's going to take 5 minutes for someone to let the foundation know that this person needs help. And to me, I just considered all of that to be the benefit or the product of the fact that there was a foundation and everyone in our community knows about it and people know to direct them that way. So I slightly lost my train of thought there of why I started talking about that. But I think I was talking about, not only does the term SPTV Foundation reflect who the actual donors and supporters are of the foundation, but it also reflects who it is that's helping spread the word as far and wide as possible to all corners of the Scientology globe as possible, so that when someone in the former Scientology community becomes aware that there's someone who needs help, that knowledge is going to be shared with, well, now one or both of the foundations. And that's great. And I thought that's it was one of these things where I was actually really stressing over what would be a good name. And it was just one of these things, these lightning bolts, that as soon, again, I'm not even sure I came up with it. I cannot remember for the life of me if this occurred to me or if someone else said it. But as soon as it was said or thought, there was no question that was it. That's definitely going to be it. Thank you for the question. Okay, Denise Brown says, how many members will you have in your foundation? So I believe on paper right now, there might be 10 members. That's going to change. There's going to be more. Before we go live, there's going to, like before we do like the actual soft opening, there will be more. There's more people. So, you know, who's on the board right now was just a function of paperwork. And the paperwork was done at a particular time. And then it took like 10 weeks for Florida to finalize the processing of the paperwork. But there's more people that want to be added and that I want to add and that will be added. So, well, when you say members in your foundation, this is the other thing. You don't have to be a board member of the foundation to be working with the foundation. We're going to have a lot of, I guess you'd call them advisory committees. And it's funny because in some respects, it does not matter if someone is on the board or on the advisory committee or just wants to support the foundation. It almost doesn't matter like what the specific type of involvement someone has with the foundation is, as long as there's someone who wants to support the foundation. And so you might go, well, if it doesn't matter, how did you decide who was on the board? Decisions have to be made somewhere. I mean, you can't like, no matter who or how many, no matter who you put on the board or how many you put on the board, people are going to wonder, well, why these people? Why not more people? Why not different people? And it's hard to actually answer questions like that. It's like, it could have been a gajillion different people. It ended up being these people. But also I did want it to be for the most part, SPTV creators, because that makes the name make even more sense. Thank you, Denise Brown. I appreciate it. Trisha Briggs, I love this Q&A. Thank you, Trisha. I actually really enjoy doing these Q&As. I want to keep doing them. I want to do them as often as possible. You know, and yet I'm worried that somehow people will get tired of them if I do them too much. So, I mean, at least once a week, but we'll see. Okay, let's see. SMSP. Aaron, I sent you a couple emails about Kate doing a tour of the Melbourne Org. It was interesting how friendly the guy was and not bothered by her filming until the end. That sounds really interesting. And it also sounds like an email I don't remember seeing, but that is a video I would like to see. I'm assuming that AUS means Australia and that K8 means Kate. So SMSP, I would say send it to me again. But the fact is, if you've already sent it to me, I will see it. So you can send it to me again if you want, though. I definitely want to see that. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see. Ramon's girl, do you have a post office box to receive gifts? I have something I want to send you, but during Christmas, you're definitely getting some Taco Bell gift cards. So because my address or addresses is something that anyone with a little bit of diligence can find on the internet, I do not mind giving out my address to people who specifically ask for it. Now, I'm not going to say it in a video, but if you send me an email, Ramon's girl, and ask me for my mailing address, I will be happy to give it to you. Thank you so much. And I do love Taco Bell. So thank you for that as well. Oh, Scientology by the numbers. Is there a public list of which orgs are class 5, class 4, etc.? I made a world map. Since Scientology site does not have a full list, I would like to add more detail to the database. Link in bio for those interested. I love this question. A class 5 org is the lowest class of Scientology organization that exists. Now, technically, there's a mission, but missions are not orgs, and so they don't have classes. A mission is a mission. It's privately owned. It's tiny, and they cannot train professional auditors, a professional Scientology auditor. A class 5 org is called a class 5 org because it can train auditors up to the level of class 5. Technically, it's up to the level of class 5 graduate, which is a different class of auditor than class 5. And that's why they're called class 5 orgs. So all class 5, the only class 5 org, there's all class 5 orgs in the world, with 2 exceptions, are not supposed to be staffed by Sea Org members. So like if you're in Houston or Dallas or San Antonio or Austin, your org is called a class 5 org. You do not have to be a Sea Org member to work there. Class 6 orgs means they train class 6 auditors. The class 6 auditor course in Scientology is called the SHSBC, or the Saint Hill Special Briefing Course. That can only be delivered at a Sea Org org. So almost every Sea Org base that you can think of or find has a Class 6 org on it or as a part of it. So like on L. Ron Hubbard Way, the American Saint Hill Organization, or ASHO, is a Class 6 org. And yes, so all Sea Org, the Celebrity Center International is a Class 5 org, but it's staffed by Sea Org members. The LA org on the northwestern part of L. Ron Hubbard Way, the LA org is a Class 5 org, and it's staffed by Sea Org members, and is supposed to be staffed by Sea Org members. Columbus org is an example of a Class 5 org that's not supposed to be staffed by Sea Org members, but is staffed by Sea Org members. Orlando, because they just didn't have any freaking staff. Orlando org is another org, Class 5 org, not supposed to be staffed by Sea Org members, but for a while, maybe still, I'm not sure, was staffed by Sea Org members. So I've sort of answered your question in a broad stroke. Specifically, I realized I haven't answered your question, but I think that should at least help out. Thank you for that, Scientology by the numbers. I appreciate it. All right, let's see. Lunar 35, question. Will the new foundation be able to help protesters when they are attacked by the Scientologists? Just thinking of DOA, Cam, Chris, and Danny, they have been through the ringer. Lunar 35, my gut answer to this question is no, because it's not the purpose of the foundation. However, it is the very large benefit of having an audience that supports what you do and supports the cause and likes what you're doing and how you do it, that in every one of the instances that you're talking about, DOA, Cam, Chris, Danny, their audiences and the SPTV audience in general has been able to help them in every single way that they would have needed help. So it's an experiment that has worked. And so it simply does not require, and I think would not actually be appropriate for one of the foundations to get involved in that type of help. That's my answer for now. Perhaps something will change on that in the future, but I don't think so. Thank you so much, Lunar 35. Mischief managed. I'm a little late. I hope this wasn't asked already. What is your take on the aftermath release form? So I think you were talking about the liability waiver that was modified after I left, was voted off of the board of the foundation. My opinion on it is that it has problematic language in there that is not necessary, should not be in there, and will not be a part of any forms that the SPTV, anyone applying to help to the SPTV Foundation would be would be required to sign. There's language in there about always behaving cooperatively and respectfully at all times. There's nothing wrong with asking someone to do that. What's wrong is putting that in a liability waiver. It doesn't have any business being in a liability waiver. The purpose of a liability waiver is to protect the foundation from liability, not to ask the person to be on their best behavior at all times and not be mean to you. So it's not like some huge giant deal. And you might also say, like, or else what? What is the foundation going to sue someone who accepts money and then publicly criticizes them in a way that they don't like? Like, I think it's just one of those unenforceable things. And since it's unenforceable, it shouldn't be in there. Like, it's noise. It shouldn't be in there. That's my opinion. Thank you for asking. Erica M says, I'm a support manager and could be a resource for hiring Sea Org members who have a certain level of software tech and aptitude. That's great, Erica. Once we have the website up and running and all the email addresses up and running and operational and everything, we will have a way for people to get onto the volunteer list, very much, you know, the same way that the Aftermath Foundation was collecting contact information and other information about volunteers for the last 6 years. So stay tuned for that, Erica, and definitely get on that list. Super awesome. Casey Cat says Kansas City is a Class 5 org. Exactly. I mean, every Scientology organ. Okay. There's only 2 Sea Org. There's only 3 Sea Org entities in the United States. There's the Flagland Base in Clearwater, Florida. There's L. Ron Hubbard Way in Los Angeles. And of course, so, and also a Class 5 org a management org is totally different. Class 5 or class 5, class 6, class 8, class 9, class 12 orgs refer to organizations that deliver Scientology to paying public. The Continental Management Organization is not a classed org. So in LA, you have L. Ron Hubbard Way is a Sea Org establishment. The Celebrity Center International is a Sea Org establishment. Those are the only two Sea Org service orgs in all of Los Angeles. Clearwater, Florida, the Flagland Base, is a Sea Org service organization. There are no other Sea Org service organizations in the United States. Every other Scientology org is a class 5 org in the United States. And if it's not an org, it's a mission. So that's actually a much better answer to the question you asked, to the previous question about which orgs are what classes. Thank you so much. Xenu Golf Club said, Ilkley. Oh, Ilkley, UK. Likely is, Ilkley. Ilkley. Okay. Ilkley, have you found your pearls yet? Or are they still missing? No, I'm convinced they're in that bag right over there that I'm looking at. I just didn't go through it and pull them out. Thank you so much. Anything is possible, Vancouver. Do you know or are you aware of how many people are leaving Scientology? Do you know if they are getting SPTV's information? Oh, me and all the other people who are on YouTube are regularly contacted by people who are under the radar. Now, under the radar is someone who is essentially on their way out of Scientology. It means they're mentally out. They don't believe, but for familial reasons or job reasons, they have to stay in good standing. Now, these days you can be in good standing, but be like not in good standing. Meaning in good standing means not declared. But in Scientology these days, you can be not declared, but in bad standing. So some of these people who are under the radar, like they're not necessarily invited to the latest event, but they're not declared. And because they're not declared, their family members can still be in touch with them. Their employers can still employ them, that kind of stuff. So people who are under the radar are people who are on their way. Eventually, those people will leave Scientology. There's no hard numbers on any of this stuff. And so that's kind of my primary answer to your question is there's no hard numbers. But collectively as a community, people are very aware of how often and when people are leaving Scientology. Thank you for the question. Oh, SPIT Clearwater says, was just in DC, did a live stream from the org, and they call it the founding org. Yep, they do call DC the founding org, even though it's not the founding org. LRH moved articles of incorporation there in the 50s. A staff member ran in when they saw me, and there was a volunteer minister's van outside. Yeah, there's volunteer ministers vans outside of like most organizations, because back in the day, there was a program that came down. Every org was supposed to buy their own volunteer minister van. The volunteer minister was supposed to be like the new activity that all Scientologists were like always involved in. And then it sort of all fizzled out, but the vans didn't fizzle out. The vans are usually found in the nearest parking lot where they sit largely unused. So yeah, I mean, there's so many people doing so many videos. I'd like to say, I really want to see your footage from DC, but I'll tell you what, the next time we see each other, SPIT Clearwater, show me some of the videos, because Bruce Thompson is one of the Sea Org members who works at the Scientology's National Affairs Office in DC. And my mom used to be married to Bruce Thompson. So he used to be my stepdad. And then they got divorced and he joined the Sea Org. And so I'm wondering if maybe, I mean, you were at the DC org. You didn't say you were at the National Affairs Office, but who knows? Maybe you ran into him. All right, let's see. Telperion. After the Ridge glitch, before, we're halfway there. Official SPTV Muckbang when? We'll have to coordinate with Reese on that one. Oh, this is a really good idea. Luna's Mom 24. I want a shirt with survivors' names and handles as well as those Scientology failed and dropped the bodies. If that's a bad way to say that, sorry, I just do not want to say the other words. No, I totally understand. Wow, that is a really good idea. I do wonder how certain people would feel having merch with their name on it that's being sold by other channels. That's like a complication that comes to mind, but the idea is amazing. Maybe I'll have to chat with Liz Gale about that, see what she thinks about that. Okay, let's see. Jennifer Marie Joyce. Question: given that the neighbor disconnected from Goliath a while back, how is he doing? Goliath is doing fantastic. You know, every now and then, if one of the kids leaves like the gate to the backyard open, Goliath will get out because he loves visiting the neighbors. So Goliath will get out and he will run around the block and he will go visit our neighbor who's got some kids that he really likes and a pool that he likes swimming in as well. And then every now and then, though, if that neighbor is not home, he will come back a little bit and he will go to Sue's house and he will sit outside of Sue's door to try to see Sue and her dog. Sue is the Scientologist who had to disconnect from our dog Goliath, but he's doing great. He's in great spirits. He's actually very poofy and fluffy right now. I was considering bringing him in for a video, but maybe tomorrow I'll do that. Thank you for the question, Jennifer Marie Joyce. Okay, so how do I say this? Lily Diddy? No, how do I say this? Lily Die. Lility? Lil Itty. I don't know. I give up on this one. But are you going to have someone who can connect people to state and county services? Excellent question. The answer is 100% yes. It's absolutely vital to be able to connect people to social services in their local area. We already have someone set up to do that. So excellent question. Thank you very much. Ooh, Abigail says 189 people are watching. That was about 25 minutes ago. That's not too bad, guys. So what did I say? We had about 639 members, right? Let me see what it says now. We have, we still have 639 members. So for there to be almost 200 in the chat, not bad, pretty good. Erica M says, I see 181 likes, but no live watch count. Yes, I can see the likes as well. Okay, let's see. Jolie says, social workers or psychologists might work pro bono per se, as they may need certain clinical hours and may want a subject to publish a dissertation. That is an excellent thought and observation. And we certainly have had a lot of professionals in the mental health field reach out and volunteer their services. So yes, it's extremely helpful. Oh, 310 people watching. Oh, someone says 415 people watching. Someone says 189. Someone says 416. Someone says 170. Someone says 189. Someone says 416. What in the hell's going on, you guys? Yeah, I don't know, guys. Either way, even 200 is not bad. Even 200 is pretty cool. A third of all members making a members only live chat. That's pretty good, you guys. Especially since notifications do not go out to everybody. Make no mistake, not everyone's getting notifications. Okay, scrolling. Yep. Oh, Galen 209. Any chance of game night coming back? Sterling called me literally yesterday to talk about bringing game night back. And it does feel like the right time to do it. Feels like things have sort of settled down and chilled out. And I think it's time to just get back to having some good old fashioned family friendly fun, or in Reese's case, not so family friendly fun. But either way, you guys, yes, we're definitely going to be bringing it back. Sterling is like out of town for a couple weeks. But either way, it's coming back soon. Faux show. Kimberly says, we need a game night, please, you and Reese. And, you know, maybe we'll do a game like if Sterling's going to be out of, I know Sterling, whenever Sterling is out of town, it's going to be for a couple weeks. I can't remember if we said I'm going out of town next week and I'm out of town for a couple weeks, or I'm out of town for a couple weeks and then I'm doing something else for a week. I can't remember. Maybe we do a game night even before Sterling gets back, because 3 weeks does seem like kind of a long time to wait to do that. So yes. Oh, I see so many comments about game night. Lovey Cats, yes, was here on the key lime pie. Sarah S says, I disagree. Publix has the best key lime pie. Publix is good. Publix is good. Publix has decent key lime pie. You know, I think I might have a size bias that, you know, when I think about that delicious Costco key lime pie, I just think about how big it is. And that in my mind, I associate more key lime pie with a better key lime pie experience. And yes, but Publix does have very good key lime pie. Blow Drill Dylan Gill says, I've seen it. You ate that entire thing in the same time that it takes to hit the like button. Guys, if you're watching right now and you haven't hit that like button yet, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Let me see. Is it going to do it? It sure is. And what happens if you do too? I forget. Boom. That's what happens. All right. Let's see. Rob Param. I see a lot of pics of little Tommy Cruise landing his helo in London, always with a cute Sea Org girl. Do you think Dave provides companions for Tom Cruise's needs during dry spells, like Nazanin Boniati? Good question, Rob. My instinct on this is that no, he doesn't. And my follow-up on that is, at this point, who the hell knows? These guys do whatever the hell they want. You know, I've been talking to you guys about my many sources from current and former Talon Executive Services personnel. To the best of the information I have been provided by those guys, they seem to be convinced that Dave and Shelley are still legally married and that he is having a physical relationship with Lou, his communicator, sort of an assistant person. And it's like, it would be it would be the most egregious violation of Sea Org policy and culture you could possibly imagine. And yet many signs currently point to that being the case. So it's like, for all of the reasons that I would say, no, he would not be providing Tommy with any Sea Org companionship, all of those same reasons I would tell you why Miscavige couldn't be having a relationship with someone who wasn't his wife in the Sea Org. And so it's all topsy-turvy and upside down and inside out at this point. There's no rhyme or reason to what rules Miscavige follows, what policy Miscavige follows. So who knows? Maybe that's why Tom Cruise doesn't have a girlfriend, because he's got some Sea Org companionship. I don't think so, but maybe. You know what I'm saying? All right, let's see. Perth Scientology audit. Question. Apparently, the name of the new foundation is the SPTV Foundation. Will people who want to leave feel okay going to SPs if they've been taught they are the enemy? Cannot wait for its launch. Good question, Perth Scientology audit. So the thing is, even with the Aftermath Foundation, anybody reaching out to the Aftermath Foundation for help already knows or knew that they're reaching out to SPs. So like, calling it the Aftermath Foundation isn't like tricking people into thinking that they're not SPs working at the foundation. So, yeah. So yeah, it's not really a thing. Also, for any of these people to have become, you know, aware that there is a foundation and that they'd rather get help from the foundation than route out of the Sea Org standardly, according to Scientology's policies and procedures, means these are people who do not care about being declared a suppressive person. In fact, I can tell you from personal experience, when someone would reach out to the foundation for help leaving Scientology, and it was and there was any question on my part whether they really understood what they were getting into by accepting help from the foundation, I absolutely made sure. I said, look, do not accept help from the foundation unless you're prepared to get declared. Because if you're holding on to something that you feel is precious and it would hurt you to lose it, you have to understand that one of the best chances you have of losing that is to accept help from the Aftermath Foundation. The moment anyone finds out, like if anyone in Scientology finds that out, you're done. And it's really one of these things where you want people to know exactly what they're getting themselves into. And that's why the foundation, both the old one and the new one, never got into the business of trying to convince people to leave Scientology. The foundations are not in the business of convincing people to leave Scientology. And that's literally how I would respond both on phone calls and in emails with people, is like, no. Once you know this is what you want to do, boom, we help you, all of it, beginning to end, top to bottom, no question about it. But until you're sure, you need to be sure before we do this. So yeah. No one's going to be like, oh, I want to go to the foundation that's not run by SPs. Yeah, that's not what's going on. Thank you so very much. Let's see. Oh my God, I'm still 30 minutes behind the chat. Damn it. Okay, I'll hurry up here. Tracy Murphy. Miriam told Reese she wants in on game night. Excellent. So maybe we can do me and Reese and Miriam and Mike Brown or something. See, Mike Brown's not fun to do game night with because he's so sweet and wholesome and nice. Oh no. It was the what was the game? What was it? Bad people or good people? Bad friends, good friends. That was the game. It's not fair to play with Mike Brown. But you know what game we should play? The game where you had to guess the word. Like there's a word and then you give the clues. That's what led to the cottage cheese incident. And the cottage cheese incident was one of the funniest things that's ever happened on SPTV. So yes, we're definitely going to bring back game night, and Miriam's on board. Okay, Eve Barney. She still carries on about how you scarf an entire key lime pie, but God forbid she has some candy corn. Oh my God, I love it. Natcat 180, more about game night. I guess I really need to catch up. Vanessa Winbury, did you ever go to the CLO East US for cramming when you were on staff at Philly? You better believe I did. I can't remember if I ever had the misfortune of having to stay overnight. They call that Athena cramming, when you go up for cramming to the local continental management office and you're there for somewhat of an extended period. Yeah, the CLO East US is one of the most disgusting places to be on staff or in the Sea Org in North America. I can't speak for, well, there's no Sea Org base in South America. I can't speak for the quality of the Sea Org base and berthing in Mexico. I can't speak for South Africa. I can't speak for ANZO. I can't speak for Taiwan. But at least for North America, the CLO East US is disgusting. I'd be curious to know from anyone who's at the CLO Canada in Toronto, anyone who spent time at both the CLO Toronto and the CLO East US, CLO Canada and CLO East US, which one was worse? Because I've only been to one of those. All right, let's go. Black Sheep, never in. I like that. I've been watching since the brown couch and the backyard chat days. That is awesome. Thanks for sticking around for all these years. Betsy, does Grant Cardone realize Scientology is a scam since he uses some of the same tactics to scam people? No, I think I don't think he does. See, in Scientology, if you have scammy sales techniques, it's easy to convince yourself that it's not scammy because they think it's not possible. They think Scientology is the most valuable thing you could ever sell someone, even if they don't know it or want it or realize it. And that you can sell someone Scientology against their will and you're still doing them a favor. So I think Grant Cardone tends to think like that, even when it comes to other lines of business. I think he's just honestly deluded himself. That's just my personal opinion. Let's see. The Nana Boss audits an investigation. Are there any fair game tactics that you've seen Scientology deploy against the LA protesters that surprised you? Yeah, I mean, resorting to physical violence is a tactic that has surprised me. I honestly didn't think they would do that. In retrospect, I mean, it's naive of me not to have thought that they would do that. I just genuinely find it, you just genuinely don't expect things like that. The fact that they're following protesters and putting nails in their tires, that's insane to me. But it's a reflection of how desperate they are. and how much pressure they're under to do something about the protesters. And they know there's nothing else they can do that's effective. So, look, sending out elderly Scientologists to initiate confrontations with protesters so that Scientology can file charges that get elevated to hate crimes. I mean, I'm surprised. It does surprise me that they're doing that, but that's what's happening. All right, let's see. Scrolling on down. Okay, I'm going to jump forward because I've been way too lazy and slow on these things. Passenger shaming. If I was a volunteer with Aftermath for Columbus, should I now reach out to SPTV? I want to continue. Also love the name. Yes, absolutely. We'll have similar systems set up to, the answer is yes. The answer is yes. I don't want to assume that all the volunteers, I'm the one who maintained the volunteer list for the Aftermath Foundation. So obviously I still have the identities of everyone who volunteered for the Aftermath Foundation, but I'm not going to assume that everyone who volunteered for the Aftermath Foundation wants to volunteer for the SPTV Foundation. It would seem like a safe assumption. I just don't know that it's an assumption I should make. So the answer is yes, passenger shaming, absolutely. And once the website is up and the emails are all there to be advertised, it'll be super, super obvious how to do that. Thank you so much. Miss Kim, have survivors shirt proceeds go to the foundation. That is such a good idea. Okay, so I'll talk to Liz about this. Liz Gale is one of the board members of the SPTV Foundation. It's an incredible idea. So I'll talk to her about it. It's sort of her creation. Is the list of all the names is kind of her creation. So I want her to be able to do whatever it is that she thinks is best with that. Okay, let's see. Lathanda Grauklinger. I really love to see how relaxed and fun you are and seem to enjoy these Q&As since things have calmed down and the SPTV Foundation is well on its way. Yes, it's a little bit of a relief to have achieved this little bit of a milestone. For me, the fact that it took 10 weeks to get this thing, I've just been embarrassed the whole 10 weeks. Normally you could do these applications online and it's practically instant. But because there were so many board members, the online application wouldn't allow that number of board members to be entered in. And so it had to be done snail mail. And then that led to a whole other series of problems of processing delays and everything. So yes, I feel like a little bit of a weight has been lifted this week. And we still have a little bit more to go to get everything ready to launch. But the hard part is behind us. Thank you, Lathanda. Okay, Vanessa Winbury. I don't remember meeting you then. I may have been on mission, but I do recall your charming colleague who worked in HCO. Was it maybe Chris Owens? I know Chris Owens very, very well, and his wife, Juliana Malloy Owens. So I went to Athena a couple times, but it was I remember Aaron Sturgis, when Aaron Sturgis was the senior CS chief, CMO East US. I was called up there for some sort of Athena cramming. It would have been 1 or 2 times in 10 years. But yeah, Chris Owens is still a Scientologist, believe it or not. It's unbelievable. He's not on staff anymore. He's got some weird little field group. He tries to cater to military veterans using Dianetics. Why he chose that specific niche when he himself is not a veteran or anything like that, I don't exactly know. And I can pretty much promise you it's not working. But yeah, I know Chris Owens. There's a lot of people in HCO, but yes, Chris Owens was the flag trained ethics officer. That's awesome. So you were in the Sea Org, Vanessa, huh? That is cool. Shoot me an email. Let me know what your post was when you were there. That's awesome. All right, let's see. Going backwards. Queen Thayton, question. Are you in regular communication with the Squirrel Squad? Just wondering if they call you for help or advice. Yes, I'm in touch with them all the time. Personally, Jessica and Chris and Hellcat, I text with whenever the need arises. And they're just so cool. I just love that group of people. They are just so awesome. I love the humor and the levity and the satire that they bring to what they're doing. As you guys can see, I tend to kind of be the same way. And it makes it fun. I love the fact that it's not so serious. And that's also the fact that makes it sustainable. Nobody can go out and be like angry and shouting and serious all the time every day. It's just not sustainable emotionally, in my personal opinion. And I mean, I wouldn't be able to do the videos that I do every day of my life if it was all serious and important and a big deal. And that doesn't mean that people don't see the videos as being, you know, serious or important or a big deal, but I'm talking about like how I approach it, you know? So thank you for the question. Okay, I'm actually going backwards at this point, starting from the present and going back. Lori Plays says, followed the flag van all the way to the airport. He was loading up several people, so I had to open my window and wish, happy journeys, space travelers. Flag isn't used to having people on its doorstep interacting with them as frequently as has been occurring recently. So Lori's one of the people who's been out there almost every night doing it. So if you haven't checked out Lori Plays channel, definitely check it out. I want to make sure I have the handle correct. I think it's LauriPlaysOfficial. LauriPlaysOfficial it is, at LauriPlaysOfficial. Thank you, Lori. Let's see. Brandy, you're a fine girl, says, did I miss when you're going to announce all the board members on your new foundation? I'm excited for everyone, and I think this should definitely be celebrated. Yeah, I feel like I just want to save it for like what I'm calling the soft opening, when the website's ready and the accounts are set up and they're linked together, and it feels like the right time to tell people, hey, you can send in donations. The truth is, you can start sending in donations right now if you really, really want to. But if someone emails me and says, where can I send a donation? I will answer your question. I'm not like trying to if people want to start mailing checks in, it's okay. I just kind of wanted to wait for like a good time where it seems a little more prepared, a little more organized. The forms on the website are ready. The email addresses are all set up. The website's all set up. Maybe a PayPal, a Cash App, a Venmo. We won't be able to do the fun YouTube live stream fundraiser where you just click donate because for that, there's a further approval process that's required through Google and YouTube in order to set that up. So yeah, so the answer to your question is I'm just waiting. Honestly, I'm waiting until the website's ready. How about that? Waiting until the website is ready. Okay, let's see. Vanessa Winbury says, do you remember when you visited the CLO East US? I ran and oversaw the CTO there from 1998 to 2003. Okay, well, I was back in Philly from 1996 to 2002. So now look, I don't look the same now as I did back then. I had hair up here and I had no beard, and I was probably 30 or 40 pounds lighter. And I wouldn't be shocked if you just don't recognize me. But you probably remember my mom, Gail Smith, I imagine. She was the senior CS Philly. And yeah, I don't know. It seems like we would have been there at the same time. But I don't remember anybody from the CTO at all. I just, like, for me, that the CLO East US is just such a hellhole that I just kind of black the whole thing out. Ramon's girl says, I've always wanted to ask this. Do you think Tom Cruise does all his own stunts because he thinks he can't get hurt because he is a super Scientologist after all? No, I don't think that. I obviously he can get hurt. He broke his ankle on Mission Impossible, jumping across that little building thing. So he knows he can get hurt. I think he does it. First of all, I think he truly enjoys it. And I think he believes that it gives him sort of a unique, I guess in sales, you call it a unique selling proposition. It's something he does that actually no other actor does. And I think it's his way of earning his paycheck. When in reality, the movies would be just as good and of a hell of a lot cheaper to make if he didn't insist on doing those things. Let's be honest. Yeah, no, he knows that he can get hurt. Thank you for the question. Oh, Simply Susan says, do you have to have premium for each channel name that you use? I've tried to research, no luck. No, Simply Susan, you don't. If you have YouTube Premium, first of all, if you have YouTube Premium, that works for every channel that you watch. If you have YouTube Premium, I think you can add like 4 or 5 different YouTube accounts to the premium account, so that like if you yourself have 2 or 3 different YouTube accounts, one YouTube Premium subscription will cover you for all of them. Thank you very much. Okay, going backwards. Uh-oh, what's this? Sir Crepitus, it might be fun to do pledge night once in a while by doing a stream regularly to help raise funds for the foundation. It might help you get recurring donations. I don't know what I thought you were talking about pledge night, like trying to get into a frat or a fraternity or a sorority. I think I know what you mean, Sir Crepitus. For the Aftermath Foundation, what we had started to do, what proved to be so successful, was you can apply, you can submit your nonprofit to YouTube to get your nonprofit organization approved for YouTube's online fundraising option. And what that means is that once you're approved, you set it all up, that like, for example, if you go to the chat right now, and you probably might see an option to like send a super chat. If you start an actual live stream fundraiser, there's no such thing as super chats. There's only donations that go right to the nonprofit, and YouTube pays all of the processing fees. We were able to raise a very large amount of money in just like $30,000 in just a 30-minute live stream. Because not only are you doing the live stream and people are donating live, but the live stream is available, stays up on replay. And anyone can go back to that live stream on replay at any time and donate on that live stream. And so I think what I'm talking about is pretty much the exact same thing as what you're talking about. So yes, we'll definitely be doing things like that. Thank you, Sir Crepitus. All right, guys. Well, we've been going for an hour 20, so we're probably going to wrap it up there. This has been a lot of fun, you guys. This is awesome. I really love doing these members-only live Q&As. We'll see. Maybe I'll do a couple a week. The problem that I'm trying to get around is that if I only do these on an exact day at an exact time, then that means there will always be people who won't be able to join. So I'm going to try to mix it up. Maybe I'll do a morning one, early afternoon one, evening one. I'll do a weekday, a weekend, mix it up, you guys. But I will try to give as much advance notice as possible instead of just going live without any notice at all. It seems like that's probably the most fair thing to do. All right, everyone, this has been a blast. Thank you all so much for hanging out with me. Thank you guys all for being channel members. I really appreciate it. I hope this experience here is a benefit that makes that worth it. As we always say, thanks to everyone who watches until the very end, and I'll talk to you soon.
Okay, if you want to see my rock and roll songs, click right on this guitar. And if you want to see a different one of my videos, then you could click right inside here. If you have subscribed or not, subscribe right here. Bye.